So, Borderlands 3 is official now. The trailer dropped at PAX East in a messy way, to say the least.
Sorry about this, you guys. I'm really nervous because we have another video.
But hey, if any company is going to be forgiven for such a nightmare reveal, it's probably Gearbox. And Borderlands fans are going to be especially lenient with them, because we've been waiting for this game for a long time. So, I was watching the trailer frame by frame, and I noticed a lot of interesting things that lead me to believe Gearbox has been hiding something in plain sight from us. Okay, let's get into it. So, in the trailer we see this stunning city. And if you were thinking it looks super cyberpunk, you are not alone. Here's a side-by-side shot of that part of the trailer and the movie Akira and its cyberpunk cityscape. Noticing any similarities? Yeah, it's spot on. Okay, so what is this place? We've definitely never seen a location like this in Borderlands before. Well, according to a rather controversial figure in the Borderlands community, called Sepmato, link to his channel in the description, this is the long-teased planet of Promethea. We don't know much about the planet other than it being where Atlas, later owned by Hyperion, found alien tech that allowed them to upgrade their weapons and space travel capabilities. We've also heard little tidbits about it being way worse than Pandora. That has been a sticking point for a lot of people. How could life in this amazing city be bad? Well, in Cyberpunk works, even though there's these massive cities with futuristic tech and whatnot, it's still largely seen as a bad place to live. Most people in Cyberpunk works live in slums, with sky-high crime rates and shambling homes and lives. Just because the tech is largely better than what we see on Pandora doesn't necessarily mean it's a better place to live. But who lives in those huge buildings? Is it the government? Rich people? Criminals? Well, one would assume all of the above. You see, in Cyberpunk works, there are no real governments. Instead, they've given way to these supermassive corporations who have essentially become more powerful than a government, effectively making them the new leaders of an area. How does this translate into Borderlands? Well, who do we see being the main power structures in the games? Corporations. Corporations like Hyperion, Jacobs, and Malawan are all examples of presumably massive entities that hold immense power in this universe. Even so far as to see some of them attempting to take over whole planets and moons to set up shop and become the dominating force. Almost like a foreign government trying to grab new land for itself. And if this is all true, then it paints a really amazingly interesting universe for Borderlands. Why do we see companies like Hyperion trying to take over Pandora? Why not Promethea? Well, because they've probably already lost on Promethea. Scrubbing through the video frame by frame left me with a lot of questions. Namely, why is Malawan showing up so much in this trailer? Like, seriously, here's a slideshow showing you all of the Malawan references and appearances in the trailer. It's a lot. And they all seem to be in a city setting. The main feeling I got from the trailer was that Malawan somehow beat out all the other corporations to control parts of, if not all, of Promethea. Cyberpunk's main conflict setting is corporation versus corporation, and we do see themes of that in the Borderlands franchise. If Malawan won against the other corporations on Promethea, then it makes a lot of sense that corporations like Hyperion would go out and try to set their own roots to be just as powerful as Malawan. Which makes the Borderlands story, mainly Borderlands 2's story, much more interesting. This part in the trailer, as well as quite a few others, shows us what looks like a massive wreckage of sorts. And if I'm completely honest, it looks very similar to the Helios Station, Hyperion's main base of operations. We know that at the end of Tales from the Borderlands, Helios Station is destroyed, and one could imagine some parts of the wreckage falling to Pandora. 'Cause seriously, look at how massive this wreckage is. This paints a somewhat sad picture for Hyperion. Imagining that Malawan booted Hyperion off of Promethea, this means the entirety of Hyperion's hopes and dreams were left to cling on to hope that Pandora could become their new home world. And if this really is Helios' wreckage, those dreams that were born in the skies above Pandora died on Pandora. We see Rhys, the main character from Tales from the Borderlands, looking like he's running an Atlas revival project. This gives credence to the idea that Hyperion did not survive the events of Tales, and won't be a living corporation in Borderlands 3. It seems likely, however, seeing that Rhys appears to be on Promethea, that he's planning a revenge on Malawan and their grip on Promethea. Is this how Borderlands 3 will end? The ghosts of Hyperion, our greatest enemy from the past, helping us to overthrow an even bigger threat in Malawan? I don't know about you guys, but I think Borderlands is Cyberpunk.